have a question on board now, because I want to confirm you guys are with me. I said something about pods recently. What does pods stand for? Can anybody unmute and then let me know? Let me confirm you are with me. I'm just speaking to myself. I explained what pod means earlier. What does pod mean?
Okay. Hello, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, you are saying that pods means people of design.
Yes, pod stands for people of design. Let me get your name again. What's the name? Pod.
Alabi Lobasa.
Alabi. All right. Now that is what pod stands for, people of designs, and that is like a short form, like a, should I call it a short word I'm going to be using for everybody that we have on this call. All right, I'll be introducing you to some basic design principles. There are a lot of them, but I've distilled that into CARP. And the first one is CARP stands for contrast, alignment, repetition, and then proximity. CARP stands for contrast, alignment, repetition, proximity. Let us note this because I'll be asking later in the call. Again, what contrast means is basically creating a difference. When I say what's the contrast between Jide and Tolulope, I'm asking what's the difference between Jide and Temilope or Tolulope. The other thing is alignment. Alignment is a design principle that helps our design to look organized. Whenever you see a design without alignment, you know that this cannot work. People don't read, people don't interact, people find it difficult to digest a design without alignment. Something else known as what? Repetition. I'm going to be going through the process of explaining this one after the other so that we can all be on the same page, understand what this concept actually means, so that we are all in the same. This is just English here. Let's go ahead to discuss what it actually means. The first one is called contrast. When I want to create contrast in my visual design, contrast helps me to create a visually interesting design file. Basically, I can create visual interest and what? Highlight important elements. One thing I want you guys to get into your mind this night, if you don't get any aspect of our discussion thus far, every object, design element are text, image, color, symbols, you understand? And then symbols and what? Colors, I've mentioned colors as well, and style. Every design element you include in your design, must have a reason, must add to the goal of whatever information you are trying to convey. Take for example the first slide that we have here. I had an idea in my head. I want to convey people that truly desire true success, people that actually want true success. What are those things? What are those qualities that they need to have as a person? What are those things that they need to put in place as a person? In order to convey that idea, after I have those ideas in my head, I have to distill that into type, which is what text. I put it in a proper write-up. You understand? Apart from that, as a designer, I decided, okay, let me put it in design. I'm not that kind of person that is so good with videos, welcome my followers, all this kind of stuff, but I can communicate via visual design myself. And that is why we have, can you see, you want true success. Now I have my success in different multicolor because success is in different shades. What I consider as success is not what you consider as success, right? So success to you is different from what success means to me, right? And you'll have heard the song, my coat of many colors, right? Success is multicolor. You understand, multicolor conveys what success is all about. Again, you can also look at imagery that we have in the background, which is a chessboard. On the chess, we have a pawn. And what is the goal of every pawn on a chessboard is that for them to become the most powerful piece on the chessboard, which is the queen, right? The image in the background also shows that you are also a pawn at the moment, and you are trying to achieve what we call success. You understand? Which is what? Becoming your own queen. You understand? In whatever aspect, whatever industry they are trying to be. Contrast, right? The contrast that is here is from the first text. You want true. The success is in different color compared to what we are, even though the texts are the same size, right? And then you can see that there is a background images that separate where we have for the footer of the entire design. Again, contrast is what? Using a visually interesting element to basically create and highlight key element in your design. You want to create a difference between, or convey your design in an appropriate way. Try to create a difference between your design elements, your text. Try to create a visually appealing design using contrast. Another example of contrast is the third slide that we have on the list. Can you see where we have the mysterious thing is when you have a mouthful of all these things. There's a right up there before now, but I believe you must have read that. And again, you see that there's a contrast between the first paragraph and the second paragraph. Look at the thickness of the second paragraph, because I want to lay emphasis on this section. I am here to share with you 3 most important ones, right? That's what I have here. That's what I have in this section. Are you with me? That is what we are trying to discuss. And then we go to the second slide, which is what? Alignment. That is basically what contrast is all about. Creating a visually appealing difference between your design elements, visually communicating. The next thing is what? Alignment. As you are looking at this design, you can feel like everything is working. And the good thing about a good design is that it just works. People look at it and they feel like, this is looking fine, it's working for me. They don't really know what is working, but as a designer, and because you are getting started with design yourself today, you should know what is actually working, what makes this design work, what makes this design visually appealing to you. You understand? The first thing is that you can see, again, contrast is being shown. The topic, the header is different from the body copy. Talk less. And then we have the paragraph that explains what talk less is all about. Again, what am I talking? What I'm trying to emphasize now is not even contrast anymore. It's about what? Alignment. Look at the first text that we have on talk less, which is what? The T. And look at the first paragraph text that we have there, talk less, which is what? The T as well. Look at the alignment between those sides up to the top, where we have the symbol that shows that this design was made 2020, right? And then look at the symbol of the brand. Look at the brand icon. Everything, if you look at where to the right, where I have my mouse currently on the screen, you will see that where I have the Green Illustration Studios, if you trace that space down to where we have the arrow at the bottom, they definitely what? Align. This is alignment. It helps your design become more cohesive. Everything breathes and lives together. You understand? That is alignment. Alignment ensures a clean and organized look in your design. And that's one of the purposes of alignment. Again, another thing that helps you in your, that we call another design principle, is what? Repetition. Repetition helps you to maintain consistency in design. When I highlighted talk less here, and I highlighted eat less here, and I highlighted what? Sleep less. All these 3 titles are the same size, the same color, the same everything, right? Because what? I want to maintain what? Repetition, consistency. I repeated those because there's nothing different. Imagine I use a Collie font here. I use a dramatic font that is, Collie is like all these wedding fonts, and I use another one here. I change the color of this one. In fact, I change this one to color blue. There is no visual repetition there. We don't have something that repeats. I'm giving your brain more workload to digest the information. Immediately I'm doing that. You want in design, basically repetition helps you to what? Maintain consistency as you are moving from one slide to another. That means you are repeating some things, right? Again, in design, let me use one word that we used to use in design for you. Less is more in design. Less is more. Less is what? More. You don't have to put a lot of things for it to make sense. A good designer would know a good design after there's nothing, after he has gone through it over and over again to make sure that he has removed every redundant part of your design. You don't have to put something that you don't need in your design just because you want to show that you have the skill. Imagine me putting a background shadow in this one, blending that one to that one is a lie. Repetition helps you to reinforces brand and what? Consistency. Today, if you see the poster of Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Nike anywhere, or Apple on anywhere, if you go ahead and open several designs of Pepsi, Nike and the likes, you will notice that there is consistency. You feel like you are seeing the same brand, right? It helps you to reinforce branding and then consistency across your design. The last part is something known as what? Proximity. Proximity basically helps you to group related items to enhance readability. That English is too much for me. Proximity. Basically, it means you putting together related items. Look at the section first. To explain that is where we have here. On the top corner right, top corner right from our design, you will notice that we have green illustration studio. Apart from that, to the left, you have the icon of the brand. You have the year at which the year the slide was created, which is 2020. And then also below there, we have something that shows this design is brought to you by what, Green Illustration Studio 2022. You know, I organize the header and the footer separately, and then the content is situated in the middle, right? Proximity is showing related design. On top here, you know that everything that we have here is known as what, the header. It's not part of the message, right? Also, we know that something that is below here, everything that we have here, they are separate from what we have in the information. So if I'm telling you, I'm talking about success. To read about success, now you are reading the footer and feel like this guy is not passing any message, and it's the footer that you have been reading from the start to finish. No. I have organized that all the messages are what? Centralized. Again, everything equals success, and then a true success is achieved when one is completely liberated from the stinginess of his own soul. So everyone needs to be what? Selfless. That means whatever knowledge you have tried to also share. And then that is talking about what? Proximity. Grouping related items to enhance what? Readability.